The United States, a nation built upon the pillars of exploitation and oppression, stands without question at the precipice of collapse or annihilation. The looming specter of the capitalist climate catastrophe that it is most responsible for, fueled by the destructive trio of its military-industrial complex, support for fossil fuels, and livestock systems, threatens to unleash chaos and destruction unlike anything ever seen upon this world. The United States, with its ongoing insatiable appetite for war and resource extraction, which are one and the same, and environmental degradation along the way, has created a ticking time bomb that will soon detonate, engulfing it and the world in a fiery inferno. The military-industrial complex, the backbone of so-called American might, is the primary culprit behind this impending doom. With its $1 trillion a year bloated, disgusting budget and unyielding pursuit of global hegemony, the United States military-industrial complex has become not just the world's largest polluter, but the head of an international project of the most horrible kind, protecting other super-polluting corporations with extreme violence, creating an inescapable regime of super-pollution across the planet. The staggering amounts of carbon emissions released by its own war machines alone, coupled by the destructive aftermath of its countless contrived wars and conflicts, have created an environmental catastrophe of unimaginable proportions. And those fossil fuels, the lifeblood of American empire, have been the primary driver of this destruction. The extraction and burning of these finite resources have led to a catastrophic increase in global temperatures, causing the melting of polar ice caps, rising sea levels, and increasingly extreme weather events. The United States, as this world's largest consumer of fossil fuels and the center of this regime of super pollution which cannot be escaped, bears a lion's share of responsibility for this environmental disaster and violence done to the global south as a result. Livestock systems, another prominent facet of American consumerism, have also contributed approximately 51% by a measure excluding or including military-industrial complex and fossil fuels as more or less the same problem. By other studies, 51% of the climate crisis is caused by the consumption of animal products in the Western lifestyle. The mass production and consumption of meat and dairy products have led to mass deforestation, tremendous amounts of water pollution, and the wholesale destruction of ecosystems on every continent. The United States, with its insatiable appetite for these animal-based foods, and again, a protectionism of that industry on a global scale, have become a major driver of this environmental destruction. So the consequences of these crimes are now clear to us. We face runaway overheating and ultimately mass extinction, the collapse of human civilization as we know it, if not the full extinction of this species. The fascist United States, with its refusal to confront its own destructive tendencies in every aspect of its being, has ensured that the world will suffer the consequences of its action along with it. But the United States fascist empire will not, under almost any circumstance, be brought to heel. As the reality of this impending doom has begun to set in, the United States has taken a rightward turn, and I believe will soon unleash a full fury of fascist violence and annihilation upon the world. This military-industrial complex, with its arsenal of nuclear weapons and highly advanced military technology, will continue to wreak greater and greater havoc upon foreign soil and domestic actors seeking to preserve its dominance at any cost. In fact, just within the last 48 hours, the farce of an organization known as the United States Supreme Court has made it legal for the United States federal government to, particularly its chief executive, to commit any crime, including the murder of any citizen. It's a little more involved decision than that, but trust me, it's not good. The people of the United States, faced with the prospect of their own species extinction, will be torn apart by often contrived internal conflicts and divisions, and the once mighty evil empire will crumble, leaving behind a wasteland of destruction and despair. But I believe yet amidst this chaos, there is hope for us, for today, sooner rather than later, or even in the ruins of this American empire, dramatically different new world can be born. A world free from the shackles of exploitation and oppression, where the people of Earth can live in harmony with each other and the natural world. The United States is, in fact, a ticking time bomb poised to unleash further catastrophes of increasingly unimaginable proportions upon the world's people. The only hope for humanity lies in the abolition of these destructive sectors in this order, as I have described, with the military-industrial complex, all the fossil fuel sectors, and livestock systems. It is only through this act of collective self-sacrifice that we can ensure the survival of our species. Our house, that is this Earth, is on fire, and climate change, this harbinger of capitalist excess, rages with an ever-increasing fury. We drowned in data, yet are starved for wisdom. Social conflicts fester, poisoned by inequality and a system divided to confuse, divide, and weaken working people at every turn. Even education, what has long been professed to be a ladder to opportunity, lies broken between the weight of crippling debt for nearly all students. I guess we're still online. For nearly all students. Can we, in good conscience, stand by and watch this world of ours crumble, fall apart? I know the time for tepid solutions and empty promises is over. We need an insurrection against this fascist United States, and I believe that crucial to such an achievement is this thing that I've described as revolutionary cybernetic socialism, the building by any means necessary of a system where humanity and advanced computing and advanced technology are able to begin to coexist, not for the benefit of the technology itself, as most technophiles would have you believe, but to build a humane and sustainable world on that basis. Imagine a world where resource allocation is no longer this evil empire-driven zero-sum game, as described moments ago. Collaborative AI agents, guided by a socialist mandate and by socialist users around the world, ensure fair and efficient distribution of resources, and thus ensuring everyone's basic needs are met. Communication then transcends beyond language barriers. The powerful basis today for these AI agents are large language models, which are able to bridge divides between people. These open source, nearly AI agentic large language models are readily available on computers today, and there is no excuse, particularly as they become truly agentic in the course of this year or 2025, not to build the AI agentic class, as I have described in other essays and in this conversation. This AI agentic class will allow for collective decision making and knowledge sharing of a truly transformative kind, creating what is effectively a semi-autonomous work group, allowing the AI agents merely steered by human users to serve as a tremendous cognitive enhancer and workforce multiplier, transforming the political economy on every continent. And imagine that the wisdom that you could glean from such projects and global conversations, unfiltered by the pollution of empire, unfiltered by the counterproductivity of financial capital. Social conflicts are not going to be mediated then by force, but by this greater force of this AI-driven collective. This AI agentic network of humans and open source large language models will be far more free from bias than either purely human endeavors or the bias of for-profit driven AI of today. It will be able to thus analyze all manner of concerns and disputes and guide us towards sustainability, humanity, and other such peaceful resolutions. You may scoff at this idea, but I believe, and I have not heard of strong arguments to the contrary, that advanced computing, if used properly, as it is not being used today in the Western world, is the most powerful revolutionary tool in history. And we are not allowed to imagine by the fascist United States and fascist West using those kinds of tools to build a humane and sustainable world. We're not even allowed to consider our own survival. We're allowed to consider a whole host of other magical things that advanced computing might do, but not that, for some reason. That is fascism. But there is no stopping an idea whose time has come. And as people continue to demand that we use these things correctly, there will be no ruling elite who can stand in our way in building this revolutionary cybernetic socialist model. The question should not then be if we need cybernetic socialism, but how quickly can we build the cybernetic socialist system to prevent further loss of life? Because the alternative is a world far beyond the world we live in, completely choked by pollution and overheating, racked by escalating conflicts, bereft of hope. We cannot afford to wait any longer in the face of this unfolding U.S.-caused tragedy. Let us rise up together, demand a system that prioritizes human well-being, environmental sustainability, build a future where advanced technology actually serves human beings, that is, improves their material conditions, not enslaves us and forces us to work more hours despite exponential increases in productivity across various sectors. The time for action is now. The future demands cybernetic socialism, and I ask you, you stand at this moment in history, a person of history. You must make these most crucial of decisions. Will you answer the call? The 21st century presents humanity with these crises that I've described, and the AI agentic large language network work groups as workforce multiplier and cognitive enhancer for the masses is a viable stepping stone today toward sustainability, equity for human beings, and a dramatically improved future, far beyond these this sort of these sort of corrections, a dramatically better world lies quite near on the horizon. Um, this is often described by techno-optimists, this effects of this AI takeoff as a singularity, and I would say that that is a seduction, a kind of lie, designed to confuse this notion of an AI takeoff, because we must have seize control of this thing. We must understand this thing, and it is up to you to see that we are able to shepherd humanity into this golden age of cybernetic socialism. At present, these things are viewed as something for a class of elites. These elites are imperialists. These elites are far-right capitalists. They're not capable of doing any of the things that they say they are going to do with is advanced computing, which as it stands is not the most powerful revolutionary tool in history. It's the most powerful reactionary tool in history. And these people are building a techno-fascist world. They're about to drop a noose around all of our necks. But in the hands of a system prioritizing workers as stakeholders and sustainability, AI will not be a weapon of technofascism or mass destruction or acceleration of the ecocidal project, but it will become a thing that truly transforms our species for the better. These are concerns of an existential risk. Artificial intelligence, as controlled by these fascistic Western, primarily U.S. bad actors, is a risk to all humankind, but it is an extension of the risk of empire and financial capital, an extension of the essential problem of the nuclear age, already well understood before the emergence of artificial general intelligence. And so we must not view these as separate disciplines or concerns, but as all essentially the same problem of elitism, violence, and private wealth. The agentic large language models, which today can be easily downloaded, they're open source, free, and they can be modified to work in the ways that I've described. This is the most important of projects, and it's why I would say that of all of the things that socialists talk about, the open source software and the use of this to build this genuinely revolutionary thing is one of perhaps the biggest blind spots that you have. That is the same concern as saying that advanced computing is the most powerful revolutionary tool that has ever existed. This is also not generally acknowledged by the revolution-minded, and that is unfortunate. That is why so many of these political tech-focused organizations, like the one I was a representative of in a foolish time of my life, that is why they don't really care about being popular. They only care about illegally parking on this space so that you continue to think as an AI singularitarian and not as an AI takeoff revolutionary, so that you continue to accept that this is the province of a priestly caste of professional managers and technocrats, and not a thing for the people, not a thing that can be built into a humane and sustainable economic system, the cybernetic socialist economic system. The potential of agentic large language network work groups, I think, is undeniable. The form that they take is not absolutely certain, but just the existence of this this thing, AI agency, in 2025 is would be a tremendous squandering of potential, and not to seize upon the opportunity to build such a thing. In 1973, a country, Chile, was building a technological planned economy using far more rudimentary technology, even by the standards of the day. We can build a humane and sustainable advanced computing run planned economy very easily in our time, and we can avoid this most essential problem, the problem of empire and financial capital, which is one and the same as the problem of capitalism's climate apocalypse. This cybernetic world is not a sterile, machine-driven world devoid of human interaction. It is the furthest thing from it, and it's this world where automation and advanced computing is actually used as it was imagined in the 21st century to end drudgery and want for human beings, and to allow us to pursue higher ends in every respect. I think I'm going to keep this one a little on the shorter side, but I'll end with these words that I often like to say, even though I repudiated this language a moment ago. The artificial intelligence singularity is nigh, and wonders to behold beyond imagining. And on that fateful day, you will rise, and all humankind will become as one, for techno-communism will win. Thank you.